Okay, should Israel Folau be allowed to return to the NRL? Should he be allowed to play in the NRL? The NRL are not being difficult, but I think they're being pragmatic. They've stated that they are willing to discuss a return for Israel Folau if clubs are serious about signing him. So that's interesting. We're 3 weeks out from the season recommencing. We've got the Indigenous versus Maori All-Stars tomorrow as I'm recording this video, and he could actually represent either the Indigenous team or the Maori team because of his background, which is very interesting, and that's their highlight reel to get the curtain raiser for the season started. Now, obviously, we know the fallout from Rugby Australia. We know why his contract was terminated, some offensive tweets. Okay, he's allowed freedom of expression. This has created a whole political debate that really I want to keep off the channel, but we understand why. I've covered it in great depth. And it's created a lot of opposing camps. He's a very divisive figure, and that's fine. But whilst he was at Catalan, he behaved himself. He kept his social media content pretty PG, to be fair. He was told, in no uncertain terms, by the Super League if he was to breach his contract, he would have his contract terminated immediately, and Catalan would be fined. Now, Catalan, as a club, the Dragons, are known for taking on troubled players. Greg Bird being one, as an example. Todd Carney being another, who was deregistered by the NRL for a variety of alcohol and drug-related incidents. So the NRL has got itself in a bit of a position. They're being pragmatic and they're being realistic, which is fair enough. They have to protect their brand. At the same time, though, they have reinstated players who've done far worse than Israel Folau. Packer, for example, fractured a guy's skull. Okay, went to prison. He's allowed to play again. Jack de Belin, his situation's ongoing, but once his trial is completed, if he is found not guilty, he will be re-registered. At the moment, there's the no fault, no stand down policy. Now, when Israel Folau was deregistered by the NRL and said no NRL club is allowed to sign him, that was under Todd Greenberg. Todd Greenberg was a very poor CEO of the NRL. Let's be clear on that. Israel Folau has since obviously gone to rugby league in the UK here with the Super League, and it's played quite well. And it's, as a player, there's no doubt on his skill. He's tried 3 different codes of football. He's tried the AFL, not admittedly very successfully, but he's proven that he could play in the AFL. He's obviously played in the NRL before, and he's played rugby union. Now, he's obviously been playing rugby league with the Super League, so it's not as if he's out of touch with the game. He's obviously clearly fit and raring to go. And the St George Illawarra Dragons, who are a club under a lot of speculation right now about how well they're going to do this season, were interested in signing him. There were talks, there was rumours they wanted to get his signature, and he obviously wants to return to the NRL. He then requested a meeting with the NRL when the St George Illawarra Dragons withdrew their offer to him. The NRL declined that offer of a meeting. What the NRL have since said is that they are willing to discuss a return if clubs are serious about signing him. And there are rumours going around the rumour mill of several clubs interested in his signature. Now, bearing in mind the NRL is a league with a salary cap, and we're only 3 weeks out from the season starting. That is crucial. So, salary cap being a little bit less this year because of what happened last year with the season pause and money being less money getting into the game is crucial. What also is crucial is rugby league is the fastest growing sport in Australia. The NRL was the first professional team sports league to return to active participation last year in May. So they got that jump start on a rival league in Australia, the AFL. So there's a lot of pros and cons for the NRL to weigh up. On a playing standpoint, I can't see him being barred from playing. He's fully fit. He's played a full season, admittedly a disrupted season with Catalan, and played quite well. And it's proven that he's still capable of playing first grade. And the NRL has allowed players to resume playing in their league who have done far worse and been convicted of serious criminal offences. So the NRL is in a difficult position. They are. Very interesting that the AFL immediately said, he's not allowed to come play for the AFL. They came straight out and said, no, we're not having him. Rugby union, I think he's burnt his bridges. He clearly wants to play in the NRL. It's going to be interesting. There's 3 weeks to get his signature. It'll be interesting to see if he's A, allowed to discuss terms with teams, and B, what teams will be interested in signing him with the salary cap as it is. The NRL has made his position clear now, and we are aware that there are teams rumoured to be interested in his signature. There's a lot he can bring to the game still, even at his age, and the fact he hasn't played a lot of rugby league. I mean, yeah, playing the Super League is one thing, and first grade is great, but he did spend like pretty much 2 years in the sporting wilderness not playing, so his fitness levels could be interesting, as the NRL is the superior league to Super League. That's my personal opinion, and a lot of people do agree with that. The public's reaction is going to be interesting. He is divisive. There are several various camps where kick him out of the sport. Kick him out of sport. It's a privilege, not a right, to be a professional athlete. There are those saying, well, technically there is freedom of speech, so he should be allowed to say what he believes, even if we feel it's wrong. And I do disagree with what he has tweeted, but at the same time, I still think he should be allowed to play. My position has changed over the last couple of years. I do honestly believe now, having a bit of time to think outside the box and look in, as a fan of the sport, I would love to see him back on an NRL field again. That would be a pleasure to watch. He clearly is a talented player. He's one of the best all-round athletes I think Australia has ever produced. The fact he's played 3 different codes of football, rugby union, rugby league and Aussie rules, says that he's undoubtedly a talented athlete with a multiple skill set. And it will be interesting what the NRL decides to do. But I believe he should be allowed to play again. Obviously now it's up to the clubs to be serious and put down serious offers, because then the NRL will open a channel where he can have meetings and sit-down meetings with them, and then we can go from there. But at the moment, his entry is still barred, and I think that's wrong. Even though I disagree with his personal views, he's entitled to them. And a lot of people have sort of lost that in the conversation. There's a lot of divisiveness about what he posted, and I do believe it was wrong, yes. But at the same time, he has shown no hint of reposting any of that stuff, and he behaved himself at Catalan. So I do honestly believe that he wants to play, and yes, you have to be careful what you say online and what you say in public as a public figure. And the NRL has obviously got to protect its brand, as it's the fastest growing sport in Australia, and one of the fastest as a sport. Rugby league is growing quite rapidly right now because it was the first professional sport to return to play. They have to weigh up a lot of options, the pros and cons. He will bring a lot of interest and media spotlight to the league, which is what the league wants. The league wants to get interest and grow and sell its product, not only to the Australians, but further afield. So it's an interesting one. It's an interesting debating point. I'll be interested to see your comments in the comments below, what people feel, because he is one of the most controversial characters and colourful characters we have in modern day professional sport. Whether we agree or disagree with what he said, I still believe he has a right to earn a living and a right to play. So let's see what you guys think. Thank you very much for watching. Please try and keep obviously the comments as fair and reasonable as possible. Let's not get too colourful, because YouTube does have a habit of deleting things and suspending channels, which I think is again unfair, because again I think we all have the right to freedom of expression and speech. Whether we agree with each other or not is a different thing. So I'll be interested to see what people say, but thank you very much for watching. Also, if you stumbled across this channel, please give a like and a subscribe and hit that bell button, because it helps the channel grow. It'd be much appreciated. Even though I'm doing this as a hobby, it's still fun to see the channel get bigger and bigger and the community we build get bigger and bigger. And I'll hopefully have some more videos for you very, very soon.